Vangeli.
On Greece, as you can imagine. Concerning the visit of the Greek Prime Minister on Wednesday, I would like to ask you what would be the message of Mr. Juncker to Mr. Tsipras. And second, during the weekend, we saw a whole amount of analysis, comments, and appreciations, not only from Athens, but also from other various European capitals. I would like to ask you what's the Commission position on the Greece's stance on its bailout?
The European Commission remains in close contact with the Greek government. Prime Minister Tsipras called President Juncker on Saturday, and I can confirm that we're expecting the Prime Minister here on Wednesday at 9:30 in the morning in Mr. Juncker's office here at the Berlaymont. As you rightly point out, many things have indeed been said and reported during the weekend, but for the Commission, the starting point is Prime Minister Tsipras' statement on Saturday, stating that, and I quote, "He's absolutely confident that we will soon manage to reach a mutually beneficent agreement, both for Greece and for Europe as a whole, and that such an agreement in no way entails that Greece will not fulfill its loan obligations to the ECB and to the IMF," unquote. So it's exactly on this basis that we are ready to hear the Greek government's concrete plans and to have constructive discussions on the next steps, starting on Wednesday. Georgi?
In terms of logistics, I suspect there will be a huge interest for statements and Q&A following this meeting. Where would it be held? At the usual VIP corner, or perhaps it would be better here, because I suspect the translation will also be an issue?
Thank you for your kind reminder. We are in contact with our Greek counterparts to arrange if there would be such facilities, and we'll come back to you as soon as possible. Yes, please go ahead.
A follow-up. Can you confirm or deny reports that the Commission is working on a project of dismantling the Troika and replacing it with another kind of body? Thank you.
As I just said, we are now expecting to hear the viewpoints of the Greek government, and we shall not engage in any speculation or discussion on what might happen at some point, because we feel that form follows function. First, we need to have a clear understanding and then address specific issues linked to this global understanding. In any case, what I can do, as I did in the past, is reiterate President Juncker's commitment in his political guidelines and in the European Parliament. I can repeat the citation, I think it's known, quote, "In the future we should be able to replace the Troika with a more democratically legitimate and more accountable structure based around European institutions with enhanced parliamentary control, both at European and national level," unquote. So this is what I have to say, but I will not go into any sort of speculation before a global understanding is reached.
Just another follow-up on Greece. Just further to the statement that you quoted, the absence of the Eurozone in terms of the debt obligations was fairly glaring. He mentioned the IMF and the ECB. What's your reaction to the absence of any obligations to the Eurozone? Thank you.
I will not go into any further specific comments on this declaration. For us, as I told you, this is a starting point. That's a starting point. We're expecting the Prime Minister of Greece to follow up on this statement with his visit here in Berlaymont on Wednesday and his talks with President Juncker. Anything else? Yes, please.
Have you received so far any signals from Greece that they're not going to accept the next loan tranche? And generally, more generally, would that actually be possible by the contract?
We are expecting Prime Minister Tsipras here on Wednesday. We will take it from there. I think that the existing arrangement is a contract that involves, on one side, Greece, and on the other side, its Eurozone partners and the IMF. So I think it's premature now to try to anticipate anything that may follow the meeting on Wednesday and what is to follow after Wednesday. Peter, welcome back.
Thank you. I got some sort of flu in your home country, unfortunately. But the Deputy Prime Minister, Dragasakis, was asked yesterday on Greek radio about the extension of the program, which ends in February. And he said something along the lines of, we're working on a political agreement that may obviate the need for an extension, and indicated this is something that's going to be agreed on Wednesday when Tsipras is here meeting with President Juncker. Can you shed any light on that and whether there's been talks with the new Greek government about some sort of political agreement that would extend the program in a way that hasn't been done in the past?
I understand this question as any other questions that would like to anticipate things, but I'm not yet in a position to go into so much detail. The comment that I would like to make, Peter, on the issue you just raised is that as you know, the arrangements that we're discussing now are part of a contract between Greece and the 18 other members of the Eurozone. So everything that needs to be agreed has to be agreed at this NEF amongst all 19 members of the Eurozone. Jorge.
When you quote this part of the political guidelines of President Juncker and you say in the near future or in the future, what is the time frame of that future? Is within his mandate?
I was not with Mr. Juncker when he did these pledges. As you know, I joined much later, but reading from the quote, he didn't qualify future. He says in the future. Thomas?
As you said, for the succeeding solution for the Troika, you said you are looking for something more accountable. As the Troika is accountable to the creditors, what are you looking for? To whom should this structure be accountable?
Let me reiterate that we are not looking at something in particular, not we have something to confirm. I was simply repeating a quote which is known, public, and it was a quote in the political guidelines by President on which he was elected by the European Parliament, and the accountability there is linked at the level of European institutions with enhanced parliamentary control at European and national level. Christian?
I'd like to know what happened with the Greek finance minister and Mr. Moscovici, and what came out of that for Mr. Juncker in preparation for the meeting with the next couple of days, and thinking about replacing the Troika with some kind of new format that perhaps is more in line with the EU institutions. The Troika's specificity is that it incorporates the IMF, so that means would it then be the IMF dealing with its own part of things, and then there'd be a more European Union body doing work in parallel? Well, as regards the first part of your question, yes, I can confirm that our commissioner responsible for financial affairs, Pierre Moscovici, held an informal meeting in Paris together with the Greek finance minister. That meeting took place at the request of the Greek minister himself, and that was Sunday. According to my information, it was an initial and constructive exchange of opinions, and it lasted about an hour. As regards the second part of your question, I reiterate what I have just said to your colleagues, in particular, that we do not envisage any new structure. We don't have any new formula as such, but we do have the commitment that the President publicly announced and against the backdrop of everything over the weekend, I will just state once again, these are the parameters within which the President will be tackling this issue. Thank you.
Margaritas, can you explain me, you just said that the statement of Mr. Tsipras is a good starting point for the Commission. How can something be a good starting point if, let's say, one of the main of the debt obligations to the ESM is not even mentioned in it?
I said that Mr. Tsipras' statement is a starting point which we noted with interest. I didn't say exactly what you said I said. Okay, Jorge, second round.
I had a follow-up before, sorry. Although you don't envisage any concrete body to follow the Troika in the report, in the Parliament report 1 year ago, they said that the Commission has the necessary know-how and to design and implement programs by themselves. So I would like to know if you agree with that, if the Commission has that know-how to design and implement programs.
Well, I will not engage now to a running commentary on other people's commentaries. I think we should leave it there. The Commission, as part of our new governance of the Economic Monetary Union, following the enactment of secondary legislation, the six-pack and two-pack, has acquired an increased role in this area, but I would like to leave it there. I would like to go into more specific details. Anything else on this or other subject? Yes, please, go ahead.
Thank you, Margaritis. For Maya, is for the situation in Macedonia when...
Sorry, coming back to Mark's question, because I don't want any misunderstanding, I made it very clear that all possible solutions that will be discussed as of Wednesday would entail that any agreement to move forward will require the unanimous agreement of all 19 member states of the Eurozone. I'm repeating this, just not leave any shade of doubt. Yes, please, go ahead. It's on our usual subject, right?